Good evening and welcome to another broadcast of Igbo Global Network. My name is Tony Wisi. I'm your host for tonight. Again, I have a great panel that will be doing justice to tonight's topic. Tonight, Igbo Global Network confronts Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, President General of OHANEZE Ndigbo. Tonight, we come face to face with Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, President General of OHANEZE Ndigbo, on the issue of the liberty of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Tonight is a conversation with Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu and the leadership of OHANEZE Ndigbo. OHANEZE Ndigbo are the supreme Igbo social-cultural organization set up to represent and protect the interest of Ndigbo. That is the purpose of OHANEZE Ndigbo. That is the purpose and their vision, to protect the interest of Ndigbo. And so we are left scratching our heads on what they have done so far concerning the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We're left scratching our heads because what they have done concerning the 1999 Constitution. Where was OHANEZE when 1999 Constitution was passed, which ties our hands and our legs? The 1999 Constitution literally steals our assets, our waterways, our mineral resources, and even our liberty. The 1999 Constitution was passed with OHANEZE asleep at the wheel. And so tonight, we begin a robust conversation with OHANEZE Ndigbo, currently being led by Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu. And yes, of course, this is also an open invitation to Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu to come to our program and have a conversation with us. Not just us with Ndigbo, because this broadcast is live on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. We're talking to Ndigbo through this medium. And so, Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, sir, you're invited to come to our program next week, next month, at a convenient time for you to tell Ndigbo what you are doing for them in relation to, number one, the 1999 Constitution, which was passed under your watch. Well, not under your watch. I know you just came into office. That was Obiozo's watch. I reckon it was actually Obiozo. I think it was in the award. But what has OHANEZE Ndigbo as an organization done concerning 1999 Constitution? Okay. And secondly, what has OHANEZE Ndigbo done to ensure the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Why is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu still under lock and key when they have someone like you, Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, in office as President General of OHANEZE Ndigbo, representing the interest of Ndigbo above everything else? And so tonight we have come to cash a check. We have come to cash a check because I've heard you say over and over, you're the leader of Ndigbo. I've heard you say this recently when you were in Abia visiting with Alex Oti, who is doing a fantastic job. I've heard you say it over and over again. You're the leader of Ndigbo. So if you're the leader of Ndigbo, you know, we have some questions for you, sir. What has OHANEZE Ndigbo done concerning the 1999 Constitution, number one? Number two, what has OHANEZE Ndigbo done concerning the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Most importantly, why is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu still under lock and key? What is his crime? And what has OHANEZE done to mobilize Ndigbo at home and diaspora to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released? These are the questions we want answers to, and several others, but these are the principal questions, okay? And because I heard someone tell me recently that you're working on a political solution, and I'm wondering, what the heck is that all about? There is no political solution to the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Why? Because the man has not committed any crime. The man has rights. And it is your job, sir, and your leadership, sir, to demand his release. Igbo Global Network has demanded the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and we're calling on you, sir, to use your office, Chief Inwuanyanwu, to demand the immediate and unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because the man has not done anything wrong. The man has not committed any crime. He has not been found guilty of any crime anywhere in the world. So why, sir, are you not using the power of your office, the bully pulpit which you have? Why are you not using your bully pulpit as the President General of OHANEZE NDIGBO to demand, not ask, not request, not beg, not plead? Why are you not using your office to demand the immediate and unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? This is what is giving us crow in our head. Thinking that we have a leader, a man of your stature, an octogenarian, clearly with decades of experience in business and politics in Nigeria. So you know the history. Clearly a patriotic Igbo man. Clearly a father figure to Ndi Igbo, a leader for Ndi Igbo. And so we come today to ask questions. Your sons and your daughters come today, sir, to ask of you, why is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu still under lock and key? Why have you not used the power of your office to demand the immediate and unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Why are you appealing to Nigerians? Why are you asking for political solution? If the man has committed a crime, then the man should be found guilty of such an offense, such a crime, by a jury of his peers. We have no record of that, sir. If you have a record of that, please publish. But if you do not, we expect you, sir, respectfully, to use the power of your office to call the president of Nigeria and to call Nigerian politicians and call especially Igbo politicians, Igbo elders, and rally Ndi Igbo in Nigeria and in diaspora to demand the immediate and unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Why? Sir, if you, Chief Inwuanyanwu, were the one under lock and key and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were free, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would do exactly what we're doing today. Nnamdi Kanu will not sleep, he will not eat, he will not drink. Nnamdi Kanu will rally Ndi Igbo globally to make sure that, sir, you are released from jail. That's what he will do. That is the character of the man. That is the character of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He will not only do that for you, sir, he will do that for every other Igbo man under this planet. That is why he's a statesman. That is why he's a patriot. That is why we love him. And that is why he's also our clearly acclaimed leader. So tonight, we come face to face in a brotherly father-son conversation, but an open confrontation with you, sir, Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, the President General of OHANEZE, on the issue of the liberty of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. My name is Tony Nwisi, and I have a panel here that is going to have a conversation with you on the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And sir, we invite you, because ndị Igbo na-asị mmadụ na-amacha ihe ụwa amacha. O nwere ike nwere ihe imere anyị na-amaghị. O nwere ike nwere initiative that is producing some results that we don't know about. So we're not being facetious and we're not being presumptuous, but we're curious on why Nnamdi Kanu has been under lock and key for 3.5 years, and you are currently in office. And I have not seen you rally Ndi Igbo. I have not seen you rally Igbo politicians. I have not seen you tell Igbo politicians to walk out of National Assembly. I have not heard of it. Maybe you have done that. Please publish. Please send to us. We're happy to look at it and take the correction. I have not heard you rally Igbo elders. I have not heard you rally Igbo organizations globally. I have not heard you demand. The critical word is demand. A man comes to your house and begins to harass your wife. You're not going to seek a political solution with that man, are you, sir? If a man breaks into your house at night, at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to say, oh, guy, waiting, they find. make we talk, make you sit down, make we have a political solution. You're not going to do that, sir. You're going to pull your gun and you're going to blow his head off. That's what you're going to do. And that's what every man would do if a man breaks into his house and begins to insult his wife or his children. Every man that has balls, that's what they would do. You pull your gun and you take that man's head off. It's called self-defense. It's called being a man, and it's called protecting your home, protecting your wife and your children. So why would you keep quiet? If you would do that for your family, why do you keep quiet in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Because I read this poem before, and I share that with you again, so personally, with you, Chief Inwuanyanwu. He said they came for the socialists, and I kept quiet because I was not a socialist. And they came for the trade unionists, and I kept quiet because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jew, sir, and I kept quiet because I was not a Jew. And finally, sir, they came for me, and there was no one to speak for me. That is for you, Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu. Today it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a father, a son, a husband, a brother, a man with flesh and blood, like you, sir. Today it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whose rights are being trampled upon. A father, a son, a brother. And put in the simplest way and the most diplomatic way, sir, I don't see what the heck OHANEZE is doing about it. Maybe you're doing something about it. We don't know. Please come and tell us, with all due respect. Today it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Tomorrow it could be your son, Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu Jr. It could be your daughter tomorrow. And for OHANEZE leadership, tomorrow it could be your son or your daughter. Tomorrow it could be you, yourself. Because Barrister will tell you in a minute that Nigeria is a slave plantation with different rules for different people. God bless Barrister Nyekwe, because he's the only man who has given me an explanation to what's going on in Nigeria. Nigeria is a slave plantation. Today it is Nnamdi Kanu, tomorrow it could be you. Your Excellency, Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu. Sir, we beg of you for answers. We have several questions begging of answers. And we invite you to Igbo Global Network, to our broadcast, to talk to us and talk to Ndigbo in an open, free, and frank conversation on the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is being held because he's an Igbo man. Nothing else. And if you keep quiet and you keep asking for political solution, when Nnamdi Kanu is held down, that means that they can do that for every other Igbo man. And what you're telling all of us, Ndigbo gekwana ntị, Ndigbo gee ntị, Ndigbo niile, ma ndị ke nọ n'ụlọ, ma ndị ke nọ abroad, gee ntị. Here Chief Inwuanyanwu na-ekwu, the meaning of what they are doing is that tomorrow they can come for you. It can be Chike or Obiora, or Ngozi or Ifeoma, or one can go tomorrow. The way he is handling Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's issue, the way OHANEZE Ndigbo is handling Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's issue, that's exactly what they're going to do in your case. You got not there for 3 years. And your wife, your children, your daughter will be suffering. I had a cool political solution. And I got up and down, like a Yotala, like a barrister would say. And I got up and down, no cool political solution. What freaking political solution are you talking about? The man has rights. His rights must be respected. It is your duty, sir, to demand that his rights be enforced. It is your duty, sir, as our leader, to demand that his rights be respected and enforced. It is your duty, sir, to demand to mobilize Ndigbo, to mobilize Igbo politicians with their fat backsides and their fat salaries to mobilize them to demand the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Sir, it is your duty, sir, to mobilize Igbo elders, Igbo traditional rulers, sir, irrespective of their titles or their age. It is your duty, sir, to mobilize them to demand the immediate and unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is your duty, sir. That is your sacred duty upon which you took an oath. That is your honor. Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu. My name is Tony Nwisi, and this is Igbo Global Network. Tonight, you come face to face with Igbo Global Network, and tonight you come face to face with Igbo. We're not hiding. We're not hiding our face. I'm not hiding my face, not hiding my name. Today, you come face to face with Igbo. OHANEZE NDIGBO is supposed to represent Igbo. OHANEZE NDIGBO was fast asleep at the wheels, and Nigeria passed 1999 constitution that stole our assets, stole our liberty, prevented us from organizing our lives and controlling our lives. OHANEZE NDIGBO must demonstrate to Igbo that they represent the best interest of Igbo and not the interest of our enemies or their own personal interest. OHANEZE NDIGBO must live up to their responsibility of representing the interest of Igbo, or else I don't know what the heck you all are doing, calling yourself OHANEZE NDIGBO and representing the interest of Igbo. This is Igbo Global Network. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter. Join the conversation. You can call and join the conversation on +1 202 787 8909. Tonight, we have a robust conversation, a confrontation with Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu of OHANEZE NDIGBO. I have my pleasure to introduce our panel today, Mazi Mbakwe, who is a veteran and a proper statesman. So he'll be talking to us today. And I also have in the panel today, Barrister Chukwuba, the man that God gave the wisdom to explain to us that Nigeria is a slave plantation. You know, he'll be talking to us about that and more later on. And also tonight in the studio, we'll have our brother, you know, also a barrister in training, Barrister Ozorina Igwesi. So I'll come to you, Mazi Mbakwe. OHANEZE NDIGBO have a sacred duty to represent the interest of Igbo. What are they doing in your mind concerning Igbo in relation to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
Thank you, Convener. Igbo, my brothers and sisters, both at home and in diaspora. A lot of questions have been asked. Our chief, Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu. All these questions need to be answered. And I begin to wonder, when he took an oath into that office as the President General of OHANEZE NDIGBO, supposed to see to the welfare, the interest of Igbo, I begin to wonder, what type of oath did you take? Maybe you can come to the platform and explain to us, explain to Igbo, the type of oath you took. Maybe we are wrong, we are naive. You need to explain to us. Because if you have taken an oath to protect the interest of your people, to see to the welfare, well-being of your people, why will you keep quiet? We and other members of OHANEZE NDIGBO, keep quiet. Our brothers, you know, dying under the hands of DSS, Nnamdi Kanu. Among other things, other obligations, other responsibilities you should be taking as the President General. That's a big office. That's something that we younger ones coming behind you will look at and say, yes, we have somebody there for us. Yet, over the years, this same OHANEZE NDIGBO, whether under your jurisdiction now or not, have not performed, have not proven to our people that yes, they are for their interest. Rather, we hear you guys talk about political solution. When did we start having a political solution solving our problem in Nigeria? In that zoo, in that slave plantation. As to give you the, the conviction that going to Abuja to seek a political solution is going to change our situation. When you have what it takes to rally around everybody, both our politicians, both our local heads, our governors, because that's really you occupy a traditional position there that has a lot of weight, because the people are looking out up to you, and yet you are disappointing them. Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, how do you explain yourself to our people? What in the heck are you doing there as a President General? Do we just answer names and then turn around and sneak into the hands of our enemies and be compromised? Please, we are appealing to you now. We are urging you to rally around other members of the OHANEZE NDIGBO, our politicians, our president of the Igbo land, because we have to protect our own. Charity begins at home. Look at Sunday Igboho. All the other Yoruba elders, they rally around. They walked out, they did something, and he's a free man today. Isn't it a shame that you, Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, is there and your brother, who has done nothing? What Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was asking for is exactly what Oti of Abia State is trying to do now. Nnamdi Kanu has not asked for anything other than freedom for his people, good governance, provisions, those basic provisions. That's what landed him under the hands of the DSS today. And yet we are there watching. I want to tell you now, Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, all eyes are on you now. The youth are on you. The young lion has woken up from sleep. It's no longer business as usual. All of you. Particularly today, we are talking about OHANEZE NDIGBO. Unless we want me to start calling you OHANEZE NDIOSHI. I think we need to respect ourselves. You need to respect yourself. That oath of office that you took, you need to live up to it. Otherwise, get the hell out there. Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, if you cannot perform, get the hell out there. We are not missing any words anymore. We are very, very serious. Because if we appeal to you peacefully and you don't do it, then the next will be, force. Oh yes, it is going to be done. Eventually, the young lion will wake up, and he will be very, very ferocious. And we're going to go after those of you who have stunted our growth, our development. We're going to go after you, both you and what belongs to you. I'm not mixing words. This is Mazi Mbakwe, a Biafran veteran, talking to you. I will yield to my other panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi Mbakwe. Mazi Mbakwe, barrister, let me come to you. Mazi Mbakwe referenced Sunday Igboho. Sunday Igboho wanted the same thing. He talked about Yoruba nation, talked about freedom for his people, talked about independence for his own people. Sunday Igboho is free today. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still under incarceration. Yoruba elders came together to support Sunday Igboho. Professor Kintoye and other Yoruba elders, they rallied other Yoruba elders. Why is OHANEZE not rallying Igbo elders, Igbo politicians, to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is free? Barrister, what is your take on this?
Yeah, thank you, Convener. Thank you, veteran. Thank you for my fellow learned friend. Thank you for today. Yes, convener, you asked a very valid question, and you laid the background by mentioning Sunday Igboho and how the Yoruba elders rallied round to ensure his release from detention.
Sorry, volume. Your volume is low. Your volume is low. You speak up.
Can you hear me now?
Better. Yeah, better.
Can you hear me now? Okay. I
Better.
say you mentioned Sunday Igboho and
Yeah.
how the Yoruba elders rallied round to ensure his release from custody. Whether lawful or unlawful custody is not what I'm going to delve into now. But as you lay the background to say why, first thing first, it shows that Nigeria remains a slave plantation. And in a slave plantation, as I always say, the scale of justice will always be imbalanced because some people will be violent proxies, some people will be slaves. And in as much as we appreciate Sunday Igboho for coming out boldly to demand for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, which was a very bold statement that was laced with a humanistic force. But still, it will not deter us to look at the whole thing as you explained. Why did they release Sunday Igboho while they are holding Nnamdi Kanu? And as Nnamdi Kanu said in that video, he said, where is the treasonable felony? Everything is gone. All the charges are gone. But now they are holding him, he's saying terrorism. But we know that Nnamdi Kanu cannot be a terrorist. And the appeal court of the same appeal court of Nigeria captured it vividly. I align myself with the judgment of the appeal court, and I express my freedom of expression by disagreeing with the basis of the Supreme Court to grant that the Nnamdi Kanu should be referred back for trial. And I will explain myself as follows. First of all, that Nnamdi Kanu is a counter-terrorist agent. Even as a leader of IPOB, he's a counter-terrorist agent. He cannot be a terrorist because all his actions is geared towards counter-terrorism. Because he is from a group of people, from a community, from an ethnic nation that are victims of terrorism.
Has been terrorized for long.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. You know, he's from the people that have been terrorized. He's been terrorized for a while.
Yes. And it's not a new thing. If there's state-sponsored terrorism. A book quoted the present Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, to have said that when he came into the office newly, he released a lot of people that were locked up, including people from his own Oromo ethnic group and others. And he said that when a state is acting outside the constitution to detain its citizens, the state is engaging in state-sponsored terrorism.
Absolutely.
Hence, Nnamdi Kanu, if you measure his actions, his utterances, and everything, he was fighting for not only for his liberty of his people, but to protect his people from terrorist activities that are manifolds. Which means that there's no reason why Ohaneze cannot come out boldly to demand that Nnamdi Kanu should be released, because Nnamdi Kanu is a counter-terrorist agent, not a terrorist. And his being a counter-terrorist agent is covered by preamble number 2 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Because the Nigerian state failed in its obligation to protect Igbo people and other people. And the preamble number 2 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights provided that when such a situation arises, when the state fell in their obligation, that is the implicit meaning of that preamble number 2. The people will not have, the people will automatically, their intrinsic human aversion to pain and suffering and death, genocide, rape. But there's intrinsic human aversion to rape. There's intrinsic human aversion for territorial protection. It will arise, and those people will defend themselves. So it cannot be when Nnamdi Kanu now is organizing his people for that self-defense that is encompassing right to self-determination, for the Nigerian government that failed in their obligation to protect them, to come and say that Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist. No, he's not a terrorist. He is a counter-terrorist. And it behoves on OHANEZE to stand up, to demand that Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist, to demand that there should be equal application of justice, that what is good for Sunday Igboho should be good for Nnamdi Kanu. This is what we expect from Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu. It is only when they do that, and the Igbo people see that they are doing that, that they can now confirm that they are the leaders of Igbo, not just by mere force formality, but by being de facto leaders of Igbo. What did Nnamdi Kanu do? Is it for demanding the right for self-determination of his people? Is not a crime. It's not a crime. Because Nigeria is just a convenient identity. It is a fact. It is a convenient identity to identify people that were coerced together to be together. And those people have a right to say that they cannot be together. So why is Nnamdi Kanu's own different? Why should OHANEZE fold their hand and continue to do something that's trying to present them as if they are trying to deflect attention from the issue? In one breath, they will be saying they are going to court to go and ask court to grant one state to southeast and all those things. Which court is OHANEZE talking about? Is it to sidestep the issue that is affecting India, or to pretend that they are doing something? Because if OHANEZE don't want to take charge, if Inwuanyanwu and his team doesn't want to take charge, they will be risking that the people will start seeing them to be equivalent of some Jews who were accomplices to the Holocaust against their fellow Jews. They pretend to be the intellectual leaders of the Jewish community. They pretend to be the most successful group among the Jewish community. But when it boils down for them to stand up against the oppressive tendencies of the German state, against the Jewish community, who were also members of the same German state, the same way Igbos are members of the Nigerian state, they did not stand up. They did not stand up. Because what is happening to Igbos today is mainly because OHANEZE used to shy away, and the other people, they used to, whenever the issue, serious issues that concern Igbo, they shy away and they will bring up a different issue that they will be using to deflect their attention. There's a deliberate absence of rule of law. Because wherever an oppressive state want to put down a category of their own citizens, of their own supposed citizens, they will deliberately remove the rule of law. That was what Hitler did. Rule of law was removed so they can deal with those people, the part of the German society that are Jews. So there's a deliberate absence of rule of law in Nigeria. And it flowed from the same 1999 constitution that you said, that you spoke about. And what is OHANEZE doing about it? It is because of the absence of rule of law that conferred unnecessary discretionary powers that any person can use against the Igbos. That's what they used to go and kidnap Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya and continue to detain him, to torture him against all international conventions. Because of absence of rule of law, they can never abide by rule of law. They can never abide by even the convention that they signed. Well, that is the only way to maintain the template of the slave plantation. Nnamdi Kanu is being treated, or OHANEZE should know that Nnamdi Kanu is being treated the same way they used to treat the vocal slaves inside the slave plantation. This is what is happening. And let me digress a bit. We heard what Wike did to the property of an Igbo man in Abuja, and what he said because of the absence of rule of law. This is not the first time that Wike will do that type of nefarious act against the Igbos. He unleashed genocide and collective punishment against the Igbos in Obi-Igbo. But OHANEZE will not say anything. Whereas it is becoming a custom that Igbo people are being reduced to become a mere sport of politics in Nigeria. This is why Nnamdi Kanu is still inside. So we demand from OHANEZE that they should demonstrate leadership by taking every extra parliamentary action to draw the attention of the mass power of humanity to the plight of Nnamdi Kanu. If they cannot do it, they should stop masquerading themselves as the leaders of Ndigbo. Because by masquerading themselves as the leaders of Ndigbo, people will see them to be equivalent to the Bantustan leaders in apartheid South Africa, who were pretending to be the leaders of the Black South Africa, whereas they were mere satellite loyalists or proxies of the apartheid regime. So the choice is for OHANEZE. Take steps for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, or accept the toga that you are the equivalent of the Bantustan states that are serving the oppressive state against Ndigbo in Nigeria. Thank you very much, Convener. Thank you. Let me yield to
it is so infuriating, and you can see the pattern there. It is because they folded their hands. They did nothing when 1999 Constitution was passed. They did nothing. That's why Nigeria has the effrontery to assault Nnamdi Kanu in his home in Operation Python Dance. That's why Buhari had the courage to attack Nnamdi Kanu with Nigerian army in Operation Python Dance and got away with it. It is because they kept quiet that, apart from that, Wike did the evil he did in Obi-Igbo against Ndigbo. It is because of their stupidity, their apathy, that this Igbo man, this man's business in Abuja last week, a whole estate was brought down to rubble, and stupid, foolish, ignorant Wike had the effrontery to open his mouth and say, how can so much land be given to an Igbo man? Did he steal the land? He bought the land. That is the man's business. It is because of OHANEZE's lethargy. That is why Tinubu during the election assaulted Igbo businesses, assaulted Ndigbo during the election, during this governorship election, and got away with it. Ndigbo need to wake up and ask themselves whether these OHANEZE people, whether they are acting for Ndigbo, representing the interest of Ndigbo, or whether they are agents of our enemies, masked themselves as our evil leaders, meanwhile they are misleaders. Ndigbo must wake up and speak up and lift their voice and ask these critical questions and demand immediate responses from this bunch of people calling themselves OHANEZE to know exactly what the heck they are doing for Ndigbo. Because you see this pattern over and over again repeating itself. And, you know, I'll come to you, my brother Ozebene. Who are these OHANEZE people representing in your mind? Ozebene.
So, please, can you repeat the question again, please? I can hear you now.
OHANEZE Ndigbo, in your mind, who are they representing? What are they doing for Ndigbo?
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Convener, and all the panelists. Actually, the situation that is happening that day is a call for concern. I have to tell you the fact that if I look at OHANEZE in this perspective, I will say that they are complice to what is happening to Igbo nation today, together with the Igbo politicians and leaders of thought. We are talking about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, during the time of Chief Inwuanyanwu, he anchored all his leadership on restructuring. Nnamdi Kanu was at a time called him and told him, can you allow us to continue with our Biafra struggle, so that you, OHANEZE, can also do what you ought to do. We cannot leave what we are doing and agree with you, OHANEZE. Allow us to continue with our struggle. That if restructuring gets through, that how we abandon the struggle for Biafra liberation. Then Nyanwodo told him, please, come whatever, there will be restructuring. Nnamdi Kanu begged him and told him that there will be no restructuring. At the end, restructuring failed woefully. That is one point. And the way you look at that particular angle, Nyanwodo was at a point even robbing to be a minister in Buhari government. A lot of, during his leadership, was at the heat of the struggle, and a lot of Igbo youth were imprisoned all over the country. If not, more than 6 million Igbos are in prison today. When I was arrested at State CID Enugu, right from school, I saw a lot of Igbo Biafran revolutionaries. That's what I call them. But I love their spirit. So what I want to emphasize is this. OHANEZE Ndigbo, they are really accomplished, because when you are accomplished, taking bribe from the leadership, your mouths have been sealed. There is nothing you will say. These people are deceiving the Igbo nation. When Wike massacred our people in Obibo, they did not say anything. All they did was going there, commissioning one project and the other. Wike invited most of the Igbo politicians and OHANEZE as well to commission a lot of projects. Even when Wike openly denied to be an Igbo, they agree with him. The same thing with Asali Dokubo. Asali Dokubo even made a statement that he killed our people Woto Woto. And a report was released from the United States a few days ago that Buhari intentionally sponsored a Bubago to counter IPOB. Remember that Asali Dokubo was used in that particular angle to kill our people. In Ebonyi State, he used David Mai, and a lot of Igbo youth were killed in Ebonyi State. And OHANEZE NDIGBO did not say anything. The same thing in Imo State. We all knew that the former governor won the election and the Hope Uzodinma came third. How can somebody who came fourth now become the governor? Because they wanted to use him for a particular purpose, and that purpose and that interest was achieved. They install him there, use a bubago to kill our people. We all knew about the thousands of our youth that was killed in Ebonyi State. Okay, there was a prison break in Imo State. In that prison break in Imo State, there was no, we did tell us that there was no camera in that particular area. Almost 8 hours of oppression, no police or military intervention. That was intended to kill our people. They release those people they want to release against our own people. Establish a bubago again in Imo State and massacre our youth. So what I want to say now is that these people, OHANEZE NDIGBO, that promise to represent us, they are representing their interests. I will say their political interests, not the interests of Ndigbo. If these people were representing the interests of Ndigbo, Nnamdi Kanu could not have his way to win the heart of Igbo race. Because Nnamdi Kanu came at the point to fill the gap, at the point that Buhari government unleashed the Fulani herdsmen on our people. They occupied our forests and everywhere. Our people don't have access to their farmland. Even today in Enugu and Isuzo, we are still having those attacks. It's still happening there. Kidnapping that is happening in the east is as a result of that. So Buhari unleashed his brothers and sisters on the Igbos. They occupied our farmland, they occupied our highways, and when they can raise voice on that, they call him names because they didn't want alternative to our people. They didn't want somebody who stood up to fight for the interests of Ndigbo. Because since after the war, when Owazulike started, they captured his interest, he succumbed. Then Nnamdi Kanu started the revolution. The greatest mistake they made was to find a way to win him over, but they failed. They attempted on his life, they failed on that and killed a lot of people in his home, and the government did not say anything, even the ECOWAS, African Union, and the world at the same time. I have to tell you the fact that these people, OHANEZE, I call them these people because I didn't see any good in them. Only Chief Mbazulika Amechi that have stood firm for the right of our people, even at old age. He went to Abuja, told Buhari, can you release this guy to me? Buhari refused. That is why Nnamdi can hold him on high esteem until Mbazulike Amechi passed away. Another man that Nnamdi can hold on high esteem is Professor Ben Nwabeze. These are the people that, along with him and Elliot Uko, went to Southeast Governor's Forum. Few days after that meeting, IPOB was proscribed and his home was invaded. And OHANEZE NDIGBO did not say anything about that. Sunday Igboho, what happened to Sunday Igboho was a game plan. They took him out of the country, harbored him in Benin Republic. Look at what they did there, and they later brought him back safely. But Nnamdi Kanu was arrested like a criminal. He was kidnapped, and they extraordinarily auditioned on a bad condition back to Nigeria. And they kept him in prison till now. And the non-Igbo have said anything about that, even to condemn such atrocity method against him. So in fact, sometimes I felt emotional discussing about the state of our people. Our people have failed to represent our interest. The only man that stood at the time and then now he backslided was Enyinaya Baribe, Senator Enyinaya Baribe, because he's the senator representing Nnamdi Kanu Senatorial District. But now he wanted to compromise the movement with this barrister Ifanye Jofo, because Commander Gentle that was killed, as we have been told, that he was in the house of Ejiofor when the DSS came. They used the opportunity to invade the house and killed him. So I have to tell you the fact that OHANEZE NDIGBO, what I'm seeing there, the problem did not start with Chief Inwuanyanwu, but Inwuanyanwu have been the chairman of Imobi of OHANEZE NDIGBO and the Elders Council. The problem started from the onset. These people are in bed with those who doesn't want to see the progress of Ndigbo. And the OHANEZE NDIGBO have failed to protect our interests, like Afenifele and the Arewa. If anything happened in the northern region now, just like what is happening in the Oklahoma in Delta State, we knew how many soldiers have been slaughtered in the northern Nigeria, both bandit and whatsoever. But now 17 soldiers were killed. They massacred the whole community, and all women and children that are in the forest today begging. How can a president of a country give power to the military to kill their citizens that he swore to protect? Through the money of these people, they pay them their salaries, their pension, and their taxes. But you are killing your own people because 17 soldiers were killed. Although I condemn the killers, but you shouldn't have punished these people like the way you massacre the people of Odi in Bayelsa State. They have been looking for a way to exterminate and eliminate the Igbo race. I have to tell you the fact that our leaders are our problem. Our problem are not from outside. We have
Yep.
enemies within. OHANEZE NDIGBO are enemies of Ndigbo. Igbo politicians are enemies of Ndigbo. They only believe in their own interests. They did not believe in the interests of Ndigbo. That is why sometimes the Western world, the Western Nigeria, they laugh at us. Northern Nigeria, they laugh at us. They say that that these people, they are not in peace because it's very easy for them to use one of us against us. Hope of them is using against us. OHANEZE NDIGBO is using against us. Our leaders are using against us. After we came massacred our people, we see what happened. He later used even our own governors to achieve his own political interest and become the minister of FCT and throw other ones overboard. And today, as I think you mentioned what happened in Abuja, it was a director of the Ministry of Capital Territory that signed those acres of land that was given to this man from Anambra State, Nicholas Okochukwu, former governorship aspirant in Anambra State. Then we came because it was an Igbo. Even when this man still having subsisting court order, he still went ahead and demolished the whole properties unjustifiably. Flagrant abuse of court order. As a barrister have already put it, there is no rule of law in Nigeria. Nigeria have no legal foundation. That is why you hear the word order from above. We have no legal foundation in Nigeria. There is nothing that is fundamental in Nigeria. You went ahead and demolished his property. As Salido, we stood up and said all lot of things against Ndigbo. And OHANEZE, they have not even for one day countered him and speak on our behalf. So those people are not representing our interest. They are representing their own interest. That is why when Nnamdi Kanu stood up, he won the heart of the whole Igbo race. Where Nnamdi Kanu is dying, many is ready to die there. It's not that he's giving them money, but he's giving them hope. Our leaders are not giving us hope. We are looking for a leader, and the God provided Nnamdi Kanu. Our leaders are not representing our interest. We are looking for where we can put our hope. And then Nnamdi Kanu is the only hope of Ndigbo for now. Even the elite and so-called educated elite, they are not representing our interest. If you want to buy them today, you give them a house in London or somewhere else, or you give them a political position. That is all. So Ndigbo, the best thing that will happen to us today is for Nnamdi Kanu to be released. Thank you.
A profound statement. Ohaneze and politicians are enemies of Ndigbo. They do not represent our interests. They are representing their personal interests. They are not protecting us. Profound statement. This is what we're dealing with. And tonight, this is Igbo Global Network, and we come face to face with Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, the current President General of OHANEZE NDIGBO, on the issue of the release, the liberty of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And we asked the question, why, sir, are you not using the power of your office to demand the immediate and unconditional release of an innocent man who is being held against his will, who is being punished, who was kidnapped, extraordinary rendition by the state of Nigeria, and who even the United Nations Working Group has said Nnamdi Kanu has committed no offense and should be released. So against the judgment of the Court of Appeal in October 2022, and against also the ruling of the decision of the Working Group of the United Nations saying Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released and compensated, the federal government of Nigeria has remained obstinate and continued to hold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and deprive him of his liberty. Yet, OHANEZE NDIGBO, who are supposed to be the premier sociocultural organization in Nigeria, who are supposed to represent the interest of Ndigbo, who are supposed to protect the interest of Ndigbo, who are supposed to make sure the governors and the politicians, the senators and the House of Rep members are working for the best interest of Ndigbo, yet they have remained silent. In fact, their silence is so loud, I can't even hear what the heck they're saying or doing. And so tonight we'll come face to face with OHANEZE NDIGBO, and also with Ndigbo globally around the world, in Nigeria and in diaspora. And we'll ask you, we invite you, if you love yourself and you want to continue to exist, we invite you to challenge this current OHANEZE NDIGBO. Specifically, Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, to challenge him, call him, text him, WhatsApp him, email him, do your own broadcast, speak up. Let every man, every woman, let every Igbo man or woman speak up and ask OHANEZE NDIGBO who they are working for. They clearly are not working for Ndigbo. We have no evidence of that so far. We have invited Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu to our studio, to our event, to tell Ndigbo who they are working for. He doesn't even have to travel to the United States or to London. He can speak to Ndigbo from the comfort of his home. We have technology to make that happen. So we ask him to tell Ndigbo who they are working for, because we don't know what they were doing when 1999 Constitution was passed, which seized our liberty, which seized our assets, which prevent us from policing ourselves and put 68 items on an exclusive list for God knows what reason. We don't know what the heck they're doing during Operation Python Dance, when Nigerian army under the leadership of General Buhari assaulted an innocent man and murdered innocent Igbo men and women. We don't know what OHANEZE was doing when the idiot called Wike assaulted Ndigbo in Obigbo and slaughtered Ndigbo. Okay? We don't know what the heck OHANEZE was doing, and so many other atrocities committed against Ndigbo. Tinubu, before he became president during the last election, used his henchmen to assault Ndigbo in Lagos because they were voting for Peter Obi. Okay? OHANEZE did nothing. Tinubu used his henchmen also to destroy Igbo businesses. Okay? And OHANEZE did nothing. So who are these OHANEZE people? Who are they working for? So Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, tonight you come face to face with Ndigbo. And my name is Tony Nwisi. This is the Igbo Global Network. and we'll ask of you, who are you working for? OHANEZE NDIGBO, who are you working for? We invite you to our studios to tell us who you're working for and what you're doing for Ndigbo. As we bring this broadcast to an end, I'll just go back to Mazen Bakwe for 1 minute to do your closing remarks, and I want to come to Barrister after Mazen Bakwe. Mazen Bakwe, you have 1 minute, please. Your closing remarks tonight. Thank you.
Boy, a lot has been unpacked tonight, and it all centers on our OHANEZE NDIGBO under the leadership of Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu. If you believe that you have not been compromised, that you have not sold your grandmother for a pot of porridge, that you have not helped in killing your people, because there is a slogan: dogs should not worry dogs where there are hyenas and cats, wild cats in plenty. Why are we destroying ourselves? Why are we destroying our own OHANEZE? Inwuanyanwu, in your very before, let me use that language here, excuse my English. Why are you allowing this to happen? Why can't you rally round your men, other members of OHANEZE NDIGBO, and at least push towards the release of Nnamdi Kanu, who has done nothing, an innocent man, who wants the welfare of his people, who has committed no crime. His home was stormed and people's life destroyed. He had to flee. And then eventually was rearrested. You know, that is captured, kidnapped. So the question is, how long shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, are you doing this because you feel you can do and get away with it? Remember, when you pass away, you are going to leave your children behind. And the pain that you're inflicting on our people is going to resonate. Like I said earlier, the young lion has woken up from sleep, and they're going to go hunting. And woe betide who has helped to cause them pain, has helped to destroy the future, the career of our young men and women today. So it's now on your table to do something about it, Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu. You can do something. Just make effort. At least we know we have made effort. Then we can exclude you from the list, because we are taking count of each and every one of you's behavior and performance, and only future can tell. So to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazen Bakwe. Barrister, your closing remarks, sir.
Yes. We have said a mouthful.
Volume, please. Volume. We can't hear you. Volume.
Okay. I don't know what is happening today. Can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
Okay. I said we have said a mouthful to OHANEZE, but we will continue to say more. To Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, we are calling you today as the president of OHANEZE to stand up and demand for the rights of Nnamdi Kanu. His right to liberty, his right to freedom and security of his person. And not only that, to demand for the right of the Igbos to stop engaging in program that is deflecting attention away from the gross violation of the human rights of the Igbos. Their right to life, their right to dignity, their right to socioeconomic advancement, their right to freedom of expression, and other interdependent human rights that are being violated every day. Whereas OHANEZE, you are sitting down there. It was the same violation that made Nnamdi Kanu to rise up when the state failed to protect Igbo people from the violation of their right to life by the Fulani herdsmen, being supported through the instruments of states. So we are calling you, Ohaneze, that this is the time for you to demonstrate whether you are for us, whether you are for the Igbos, or whether you are playing the role of the Bantustan states, Bantustan leaders during the apartheid in South Africa. Inwuanyanwu, this is your opportunity to write your name in the gold. You must write your name to be one of those that stood up, or to be one of those that is standing up for the human rights of the Igbos. Or your name will end up like those who supported the violation of the human rights of their own people. So today, we of the Igbo Global Network are calling you to avail yourself, show leadership, demonstrate thought leadership, demonstrate human-centered leadership, so that the rights of the Igbos can be upheld in Nigeria. Because Igbos are being treated like slaves inside the slave plantation. So it is for OHANEZE to show that they are not the overseers of the slaves, of the slave masters that are crushing their own Igbos and pretending to be among them. So this is your opportunity to stand up for the rights of the Igbos, to make sure that the voice of the Igbos are heard all over the world. The same way the Palestinian leaders are standing up for their people. The same way the leaders of the Kosovo people stood up for their people in Yugoslavia. The same way the leaders of the Bosnians stood up for their people in Yugoslavia. The same way the leaders of the Dinka people and Nuer people in Southern Sudan stood up for their own people in against the savagery of the northern Sudanese. So Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, this is the time for you to stand up against the savagery of the Nigeria state and the Fulanis and their allies against the Igbo people in Nigeria, especially by taking extra parliamentary action to demand for the release of Nnamdi, because the parliamentary actions is compromised. We cannot rely on that. This is our call today. This is our call today. Thank you very much, Convener.
Thank you very much. Mazi Ozamena, you have 1 minute. Closing remarks, sir.
Okay. I am calling on the leadership of OHANEZE, the Igbo leaders of thoughts, and all the various organizations in the Southeast and in diaspora. Is not yet to Uhuru. Every leaders of Ndigbo, especially our governors and OHANEZE Ndigbo, should consider Southeast and Igbo in diaspora as their primary constituency to fight for the right of our people. The evidence of atrocities meted against our people is all there. An Igbo chief in Lagos, Agor Palace, is still languishing in prison today because he speak out. During the election in Lagos State, a lot of Igbo properties were destroyed. He stood up and said, if the government should fail to protect our people, then I will invite IPOB. For the sole purpose of mentioning IPOB, he was thrown into prison till today, and nobody spoke about it. That is one of the atrocities against our people. Most of Igbo youth on Trump-up charges because you are wearing Biafra flag. It happened to Chiwetelago because it's a celebrity. We could be able to see that. But there are a lot of people that is unknown that are in various prisons in Nigeria. And our people kept quiet. We should stand up and speak with one voice. One good turn deserves another. Injury to one is injury to all. Igbo is like a nucleus family. We have bright leaders as governors in the Southeast today. They have no reason to keep mute and be quiet. Their duty is to wake up like the time of Chief Simon Bakwe, Jim Nwobodo, and the rest of them. They should speak out and fight for the right of our people. It's not only to construct roads and other social amenities. Speaking for the right of our people, fighting for the right of our people is one of their responsibility as leaders. Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, as the leader of OHANEZE Ndigbo and the Igbo Youth Organization. I am once a member of Igbo Youth Organization when Ngozo Domoko was the leader. I knew what Emeka Anyoku says when he came to Universal Hotel. He admonished Igbo youth to always stand side by side with one another and speak the truth even in the face of death. Because this man from Kogi State said, a Senator Dino Milaye, when you say the truth, you die. When you didn't say the truth, you will surely die. So it's better he said the truth and die. Our people should stand up, please. The atrocity is too much. So that we can have a place called our home. We cannot say that there are insecurity in the Southeast. Who created the insecurity? Because of our silence. Our silence created insecurity in our own land. Our silence gives way to a lot of atrocities, punishment, exclusion and marginalization against our people. It's because of the silence of our people, silence of our leaders, silence of OHANEZE Ndigbo, and the people that we sent there to go and represent us. Please, you have to speak out. Save a life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mazi Ozamene. Ndigbo, Ona Nona, it is a sorry state of affairs to have octogenarians who are supposed to represent the interest of Ndigbo. They comfortably keep quiet while Ndigbo are slaughtered. So it's up to you, and it's up to me, and our sons and our daughters, our brothers and sisters. It's up to all of us now to speak up. Use your platform. Use your WhatsApp. Use your Facebook. Use your YouTube. Use your leadership position. Are you a company leader, president? Are you a hospital administrator? Whatever you are you a teacher? Are you a politician? Use your office, use your leadership, and speak out and call for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and demand that OHANEZE speak up for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If they do not, then they must step aside. And you can join Igbo Global Network. You can be sure we're not going to keep quiet. You can join Igbo Global Network, and together we will get all these people on the run who are supposed to be representing us. Today we're coming face to face with a confrontation with Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu. Next week, we're going to confront the governor, and the following week, another governor, and politicians. We're going to go after all of them one by one with their names and their pictures and their details. We need to know who is working for Ndigbo and who's working against Ndigbo, who's masquerading to be working for Ndigbo, but they're actually working for our enemies. Who are the Ifajunas in our midst? We need to know who they are, even with organizations. We need to know which organization is working for the interest of Ndigbo and which ones are working for the interest of our enemies. They're masquerading to be as if they're working for Ndigbo. A barrister will say, the face of Esau, but the voice of Jacob. Who are the enemies in our midst? Who are masquerading to be brothers and sisters, but they are enemies, working for our enemies, working for the Fulani, and working for foreigners. OHANEZE Ndigbo, this is an open invitation to Chief Emmanuel Inwuanyanwu, you may come to our studios and defend your record with OHANEZE and with Ndigbo. You can reach us on +1 202 787 8909. That's our WhatsApp number. It's WhatsApp only. +1 202 787 8909. Only you can defend your record, sir. Only you can defend your record. We have said what we have seen. We have said what we know. We don't know everything. So if we have got it wrong, only you can come and put us straight. But the days of silence are gone. The days of silence are gone. We're going to call you out every week. We're going to call out Igbo politicians out. We're going to call out Igbo elders. We're going to call out Igbo traditional rulers. We're going to call them out and we're going to tell Ndigbo. And Ndigbo, we're doing our bit. The rest is up to you. It is your duty to call them out and demand from them exactly how they are serving the interest of Ndigbo. Where was OHANEZE when 1999 Constitution was passed? How can a constitution be written by two men for a nation, for a country of 300 nations? 250 million people constitution written by two men who clearly were under influence or under threat or who had been bought out. And OHANEZE kept quiet. Where was OHANEZE when 1999 Constitution was passed, which seized our assets, our waterways, our land, our mineral resources, and prevented us from policing ourselves, and 68 items in the exclusive list? Where was OHANEZE when that happened? Where were Igbo politicians? But tonight we're talking about OHANEZE. Where was OHANEZE when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's home was broken into by the Nigerian state in Operation Python Dance, and his brothers and sisters and his family and friends were slaughtered like chicken? Where was OHANEZE? Where was OHANEZE when Wike, that idiot, that buffoon called Wike, where was OHANEZE when that buffoon, an Igbo man who's denied his identity, slaughtered Ndigbo in Obigbo? Where was OHANEZE? Okay? Where was OHANEZE when Ndigbo were killed, harassed before the election in Lagos? Why did they not speak up? Why did they not call for justice for Ndigbo? Just last week, an Igbo man's business was wrecked, leveled, because the only offense he committed, is an Igbo man. What did OHANEZE say? Zippo, nothing. They kept quiet and sat on their fat asses and said absolutely nothing. OHANEZE, tonight, you come face to face with Igbo Global Network. You come face to face with Ndigbo. We invite you to come and defend your record. You're either working for Ndigbo or you're working for our enemies. Ndigbo, tonight is a confrontation with OHANEZE Ndigbo. My name is Tony Nwisi. I'm the convener for Igbo Global Network. I am your host for tonight's broadcast. You can reach us on +1 202 787 8909. And you can connect to us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. And the final word I'll say is this. It is said that cowards die many times, but brave men die just once. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. Any man or woman who is keeping quiet, who is not demanding, any Igbo man or woman who is not demanding for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is not caught demanding publicly for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is either a coward or a traitor. Any Igbo man or woman who, in the face of everything we're going through, is not publicly demanding for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he is either a coward or he's a traitor. Igbo, get into. Open your eyes wide. It is time for every man to speak up. Thank you very much. This has been a broadcast by Igbo Global Network, demanding for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. My name is Tony Nwisi. You can connect with us on +1 202 787 8909. Until we come your way again, same time next week. This is Igbo Global Network. Thank you and good night from our studios in Washington, D.C.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you. Good night, sir.